to bring Cavell on. And I want to, just as a courtesy, I want to ask you, are you willing to maybe talk to Cavell, or is this something you don't want to do at this time?
Look, we can try. I'll ask you if it's belligerent or anything like that. Let's not do that.
Yeah.
But let's keep logic, civil, and facts, please.
Okay. If it's not professional, we'll kick him off. So I'll work on getting him on.
How y'all doing?
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. So we have Cavell on here. I would just ask, I know there's a little bit of potentially tension there, but let's just give Cavell an opportunity to ask a few questions. And if it ever becomes, if it's not professional, we will get rid of some people here. Okay. Comments too. Cavell, the floor is yours.
Oh, I just had like some questions. I wanted to know if you would be willing to let us know how many OMI tokens you have.
No, I won't be disclosing how many OMI tokens I have, and I don't think anybody should have to do that.
Okay, that's fair enough. Fair enough. I'm just checking. Just wanted to see.
I have a considerable amount. I'll tell you that.
Oh, we know.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Why? So from what you say, it seems like you're on good terms with the Ecomi team.
Neutral terms.
Neutral terms.
From my understanding, everything is neutral. I actually was messaging David just yesterday. No hostility. Lining up to have a discussion.
Oh, okay.
He was a little busy on the weekend, so he'll get back to me today or tomorrow.
So why is it that certain members of the team would like to see you in prison?
I've never seen this claim, so I can't comment on it. I don't know it to be fact.
Do you feel like you deserve to? You've done anything that would make someone on the team feel as though you should be imprisoned? Nothing
I can think of, and no, I've seen no evidence of anything that would result in such a claim. Nothing at all.
So everything that you've done for this project has just been perfect. Like you didn't do anything wrong. Like you're the only incident that this has ever happened with Ecomi ever, and you did everything perfectly, right?
So careful, Cavell.
I never said I did everything perfectly. I said we worked together quite amicably for 2.5 years. As you know, there was a lawsuit because I wasn't paid, and that was settled.
So they just said, yo, I guess I'm gonna pay you later for a whole year, and you was just like, okay, a whole year.
Yeah, I was pretty flexible. There's pay tomorrow and in a few days and next week, and we let it slide for a long time because I was still working. I wasn't concerned about getting paid, and I'd invested in the project. I didn't need it, but it got to a point where it dragged out for too long, and we settled that matter. It's closed. It doesn't affect anybody.
Okay.
Cavell, what do you think of everything that we've seen so far? Because in regards to Mr. Godenzi here, a lot has been released in really 2 days. Has this changed your view of him at all, or not really?
In the slightest.
May I ask a question, Cavel? Do you have any facts or evidence that brings your opinions and slander that's coming towards me? Do you have anything you can present?
Slander? What slander? Me reading stuff that's on the internet that's been posted about you? Like what?
Look, all your claims and your opinions, that is the definition of slander. But
my claims are being read from.
All right, let's please keep it professional. We don't have to keep it emotional. So, Cavell, let's just ask your question one more time, okay?
The only question I have is, do you have any facts to back all of what's going out there? Like I just presented facts that poor man's video of me dumping was false. That's a fact. It's my exchange account. I showed you the wallets that were doing it. It's a fact. So that's why I bet him 10 Bitcoin, because I knew he couldn't prove it, because I could prove it wrong. That's why he didn't take the bet, because he knew he made it up. Do you have any facts to back any of the things you are sharing with people? Any fact at all?
Do I have any facts?
Yes.
That you mean the facts that can't be spoken about per your agreement with the settlement with Ecomi?
No, I'm not talking about the settlement. That's a non-issue. We had a contract dispute and we settled the contract dispute.
Yet you still can. Terms of that settlement was that certain things cannot be disclosed.
The only thing that can't be disclosed is the terms of the settlement, which is the dispute was settled, but that's irrelevant to all the FUD that's going out there. The dispute was settled.
It's really not. It speaks to your character, like, what was the situation that took place? Why were you not paid? Why were you the only one that we have heard something like this with when it comes to Ecomi?
There was at least 3 other advisors that weren't paid, and as I mentioned,
where were their lawsuits at?
They were going to. I know 2 of them were going to bring them up, and they end up getting paid. I don't know what happened to the others. So look, there was never any evidence submitted to the court or to myself as to why I wasn't paid. I didn't question it. Eventually, I just said, please pay me. We got to the courts. We settled the matter. It's irrelevant to all the FUD that's going on now. I showed you I'm not dumping. I got the contracts and the dispute was settled. I have no problems. I showed you evidence. The videos were all false. Do you have any facts or evidence to back all the slander and claims that you're promoting?
Why would I have facts or evidence for something that was set? That's, first off, not my claim.
We're not talking about the settlement. The settlement is irrelevant.
The settlement agreement says it can't be spoken on. The facts and proof cannot be spoken about. The people with the proof cannot say anything.
No, you're completely misinformed.
Because could we see like the agreement? Do you have the document? Could we read the terms then? Since I'm misinformed.
The settlement isn't relevant to the FUD. It was a contract dispute that was settled. End of story.
Could we see what Ecomi is not allowed to speak about? Will you show us that contract that was signed?
Obviously, I can't show you this settlement. I've said that. But this settlement agreement is not what the FUD is about. You're talking about me manipulating and dumping the project. And
I was talking about allegations made against you.
Which allegation? Let's talk about
that you were manipulating the market. Like that. Okay. That was the allegations.
Okay, where is your evidence of this?
Why would I need evidence?
I just proved it wrong. Everybody just saw that I proved that allegation false with my own exchange account and the wallet that was.
So you only have one exchange account.
Yeah, I do on that exchange. You've got a KYC for an exchange. That's right.
Okay, and how do we know this is true?
Mate, you can't just make things up out of thin air and say, oh, you've got multiple. The fact is, I showed you. I
said
Marvel News, and I showed you the wallet that's sent to the exchange that matched the volume of the dump. You have nothing more than I do. I have a lot that shows what was happening here.
So I have muted Cavel,
This is kind of pointless, guys. It doesn't make any sense.
You know, in the court of law, right, the burden is on the accuser. So, I mean, we haven't really seen a whole lot of solid information. We have seen a lot of circumstantial. I think Ben has shown some evidence. I don't think he has any more. So, Cavel, do you have one last question? Maybe we can have we can switch topics here and maybe talk about one other question if you have one.
No, it's pointless. He's just going to talk in circles.
Okay. All right.
Well, I can talk facts whenever you like.
Sorry, guys. I just want to interject here for a second. I just want to get some clarification, because once again, like, you know, Cavel, 100%. I don't know if you got a chance to look at my video or not. I know I had asked you and Poor Man to take a look at it a few times. I don't know if you ever got around to taking a look at it and actually seeing the entire context of the conversation that Ben and I were able to have on Telegram. But at the end of the day, I think what this boils down to is the reason that I started all of this was my concern about content creators who, quite frankly, I respect, and I reference that in my video, putting out information. And at the end of the day, whether correct or not was never my intention. It's the fact that this is being put out and is now the focus of what everyone in the community is dealing on. We're not focusing on, the exciting news of, possibly Spider-Man or something being announced. No one knows. The VeVe team did all this, effort to release this on socials. And I feel like, at least in my world, in my socials, this has taken up all of it. The videos, the views that I'm seeing going out are all about, Ben did this to the community, Ben did that to the community, and, don't invest in Ecomi because Ben did this. And at the end of the day,
who said that?
Poor Man Printing in his last video actually made an exact point to state that Ecomi right now is not a good investment because of the manipulation that Ben has done. And at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not here to point fingers. I'm not here to place blame on anyone. At the end of the day, I want to have a civil discourse, and I appreciate that you were willing to come on, Cavel, and you were willing to come on, Ben, so that we could all have this conversation. At the end of the day, the important thing is let's give the community the information. and let them make their own decisions.
The
right?
fact is, no one with proof against this guy can speak on it. So all he has to say is, I have a little bit of proof. Where's your proof? If anybody says anything that will incriminate him, he'll know what lawsuit was broken, and he'll have ammo to go after whoever.
That's not true, Cavel. We're talking about manipulation here, and our lawsuit was not related to manipulation.
Really?
Yeah,
This makes no sense.
You're making this about manipulation. These claims, apparently these claims you're talking about has come from Poor Man.
I just showed you it wasn't me. So what are you even talking
Bro,
about?
you talk in circles. When I make one point, you go back to the one point that you say that you have brought evidence out about. You're just going back to what you feel like you can prove, and you're avoiding what you can't.
Well, I can't prove things that didn't happen, obviously. You haven't proven anything at all. You've just made a claim.
You know that I have said many times, no one is going to be able to prove anything against you.
So
Yet the allegation, why do these allegations exist? Why are there so many allegations? Everybody just wakes up one day like, yo, let's screw over Ben. That's what everybody does.
Which allegation?
Okay.
We can have a conversation with a level-headed person that talks logic and fact.
I think at this point there's not a lot of profit to go further. So maybe we can just have you conclude, Ben.
Yeah, look, I think
you have anything else to say?
I think Foster's on the money here. I wasn't involved in the community and social media. These videos started popping up. I just created a new Twitter account to clarify that this information was wrong. It was bad for Ecomi. The only reason I came out was because these guys were damaging everybody's investment by making these claims without evidence. I wanted to say, hey, look, people, have a look at the actual information, decide for yourself, and hopefully it'll go away. I have no need to stay in the community and argue with people. I just want everyone to be logical about their thoughts. It's taking away from the positivity. VeVe's, like I said, it's a kick-ass project. We don't need this negativity. What have you got there? There's plenty of people after him. Projects, I'm sure Khan will get him in the end. Okay, well, maybe that's something Reese can take up with me. He's got a problem with me. Not too sure what that's referencing. But yes, hold on. What's that one?
Have you interacted with Reese before? I mean,
just what projects you see his name attached to? Industry squeeze out bags of shit like him. Okay, well, I guess thanks for that, Cavel. That's actually slander from Ecomi. So good to see we've got a record of all that. Unfortunate that he would say such things without any information to back it up. We can't actually read it. It's blurry.
So we're just going to conclude the stream here. Mr.